Keir Starmer now says he's the guy that's going to control our borders. The same Keir Starmer that decriminalised illegal immigration, has prioritised illegals over our own good people, has thrown them into hotels and generally prioritised them for housing as well, and wanted to make sure that anyone who spoke out against illegal immigration was called far right and put in prison. But now suddenly he's all for it. He also says that those arriving in our country should speak English. Maybe he could go to Birmingham or Bradford or Luton or Leicester or any other of his voting areas and say that, because none of them will understand a bloody word.
Katie Hopkins has delivered a blistering critique of Keir Starmer, one so sharp it sent shockwaves through the political arena. This wasn't a typical policy exchange. It was a cutting performance of political satire, blending wit and precision in equal measure. Audiences laughed at first, then fell silent as the weight of her words sank in. Within hours, clips of the confrontation spread across social media, igniting debate and drawing millions of views. In recent broadcasts, Hopkins has been at her fiercest, dismantling Starmer's leadership with pointed, unapologetic force. It's not just commentary, it's one of the most ferocious political takedowns of the year.
Morning, it's Keir here. My director of strategy, who's a right ginger, has said that I should explain our new policy on migration very simply. So before, we loved illegals. We couldn't get enough of illegals. Illegals, come, welcome. I helped bring them in. I put them in hotels. I also love a Rwandan. I love me a stubby Rwandan. In fact, I love all illegals because they are the ones that vote for us. So if you go to any of the Labour strongholds, Luton, Leicester, Birmingham, Bradford, all you'll find is Muslims, and we can buy their vote for 20 quid. But then we got beaten by reform. So now we say, we cannot stand illegals. We are the ones that will control the border. You can trust us. We will stop them coming.
Keir Starmer appeared as though he'd wandered into a political storm. He was wholly unprepared for visibly drained, disoriented, and struggling to grasp the scale of the chaos around him. Moments earlier, he had endured a ferocious verbal onslaught from Katie Hopkins, a critique as relentless as it was unforgiving. Hopkins, known for her uncompromising approach, tore through Starmer's credibility with surgical precision, exposing the fractures in his leadership for all to see. His response was hesitant and uncertain, the look of a man caught off guard, overwhelmed by plummeting poll numbers and growing public discontent. What followed was a scene emblematic of Starmer's leadership struggles, confusion, loss of control, and the unmistakable sense of a man cornered by his own failures.
Here's the thing, Keir. I've had a thought that fixes a lot of your problems. So, you're looking to put boots on the ground in Ukraine, specifically Kyiv. I thought, why don't you get all the people that had a Ukraine flag on their social media profile? Obviously, they had to take down their NHS one and their LGBTQ one to put up the Ukraine one. But those people, and the people who took in a Ukrainian into their homes like a little pet, you know, just for Christmas. The people that are like, oh yeah, we've got one. Yeah, we've got a Ukrainian family. Yeah. We've got a Ukrainian family. Yeah, because we're a better kind of person. Yeah.
Keir Starmer has spent the past year attempting to convince the nation that he is a leader of conviction, a man of substance, rather than a carefully packaged product of political consultants and focus groups. But the public isn't convinced. One week he pledges undying loyalty to Brexit. The next, he's stumbling through explanations on trade policy, looking less like a statesman and more like a nervous junior official fumbling through a briefing. Whenever he appears to take a principled stand, it often feels borrowed, as if he's temporarily adopting someone else's convictions just to get through the moment. The result is a portrait of a leader still struggling to define who he is, and more importantly, what he truly stands for.
Comrades, my name is Keir Starmer, and I'm here to fuck the foundations. When I became your Prime Minister, not only did I get new hair and glasses provided by a donor who now has full access to 10 Downing Street and my bedroom, we were promised three things. Number one, we would be fully costed and fully funded. We're so fully funded and fully costed, we're essentially just like Katie Price, or HS2, or the public sector in Argentina pre-Milei, depending on your sense of humour. In order to make the £22 billion hole in the budget even worse, we have spunked a whole bunch of cash at train drivers and junior doctors. This guarantees two things. Number one,
Katie Hopkins burst onto the political stage with her trademark ferocity sharp, unfiltered, and unapologetically direct. She tore through Keir Starmer's carefully polished public image, exposing the contradictions behind his controlled demeanour. With a precision that bordered on surgical, Hopkins dismantled the illusion of steady leadership, revealing instead a figure weighed down by bureaucracy and stripped of genuine conviction. Her critique cut deep, forcing Starmer's composure to collapse under scrutiny, exposing a leader who, when pressed, appeared more performative than principled and far less substantial than his rhetoric suggests.
Keir Starmer has been in Italy with Meloni. So you've got a left-wing, radical left-wing human rights guy over with what would be labelled as far-right Meloni in Italy. Now, I appreciate many of you will know much of this already, but it bears repeating at some level. Firstly, Meloni has been very successful at getting migrant numbers down. She's done that by, number one, hitting where they leave. So Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, she's making deals with those guys to stop the boats.
While Keir Starmer stumbled through press conferences that felt more like awkward family dinners, the kind where mentioning Brexit is strictly off limits, Katie Hopkins charged straight into the chaos without hesitation. With her trademark sharp wit, she sliced through Starmer's vague deflections and hollow rhetoric, delivering a takedown as precise as it was unforgiving. It wasn't a hotel she was reviewing this time, it was Labour's leadership, and her verdict was brutal, 1 star, accompanied by a public warning. When it came to Starmer's so-called economic vision, Hopkins didn't hold back. If vacant stares and vague promises qualify as strategy, she quipped, then half the country could claim to be Prime Minister. For months, Starmer has trailed behind the Conservatives like a hesitant apprentice, echoing their policies with none of their conviction. And then came Hopkins, direct, incisive, and unflinching, demanding the question many have silently asked. Keir, apart from hollowing out the soul of the Labour Party, what exactly are you responsible for?
Keir Starmer having an affair with his voice coach. I know, dog. I know, disbelief. I mean, I think we all have some questions, don't we? Question 1. Why do guys always have affairs with people that look exactly like the wife they already had? I mean, if you've already got that wife, what's the point of having an affair with another woman who looks exactly the same as the wife that you apparently don't want? Why not pick someone, you know, super exciting, maybe with massive boobs, or a lady from another continent with an enormous bottom? I mean, just something completely different to what you've already got. Why are you still shopping in the same supermarket?
Every time Keir Starmer mentions growth, economists across Britain collectively wince as if they've just been asked to split firewood with a teaspoon. His so-called growth strategy appears less like a plan and more like an exercise in boredom, as though he hopes to lull the economy into recovery through sheer monotony. He speaks of times productivity, innovation, and times investment times with the repetition of a well-rehearsed mantra, yet never with the conviction or clarity that inspires confidence. Starmer seems equipped with a spreadsheet for every theoretical scenario except the ones that require real, working solutions. Watching him handle the nation's finances feels like watching someone try to jumpstart a car with a spoon, plenty of effort, but none of the right tools. And then there's immigration, the issue that continues to test every corner of British politics. Here, Starmer tiptoes carefully, pandering to both sides while standing firmly on none. His stance remains so undefined that even a bowl of plain porridge would appear daring by comparison. Katie Hopkins didn't mince her words. She cut straight through the political fog, asking the question many are now thinking, is Keir Starmer deliberately turning Britain's borders into a revolving door, leaving the public exasperated, and the nation directionless?
Finally, Keir Starmer says he's going to have a peace talk for Ukraine. Peace talks for Ukraine. Oh, yes, I'm going to have peace talks. Yeah, so what did you do for the last 3 years? Oh, yeah, bugger all. And now Trump's coming to fix the problem, and you want some of his success? Please, you're like a tick on a bloody dog. The last time the EU leaders were together, they took their jackets off in solidarity with Zelensky. Oh, do you think he'll take me up there? We've never seen anything this gay since the last time, I don't know, Macron and Brigitte did a little walkabout.
Keir Starmer's speeches are impossible to overlook, not because they inspire, but because they drain. Each delivery feels painfully over-rehearsed, as if scripted by committee and performed by a man allergic to spontaneity. When he speaks, it's less conviction and more the monotone hum of an automated assistant stuck on repeat. You can almost picture him practicing before a mirror, only to apologise to his reflection afterward for wasting its time. His charisma, if you can call it that, hovers somewhere between a flickering light bulb and an interrupted sneeze. Katie Hopkins picked up on this immediately, emerging as the sharpest critic of what she calls the one-man monotony of modern British politics. With her trademark ferocity, she asked the questions that cut to the heart of the issue. Asterisk, why does Starmer confuse hesitation with leadership? And why is his default response to every crisis the same weary refrain, "We'll look into it"? Asterisk. His tough talk on law and order fares no better. The image he tries to project of resolve and authority collapses under scrutiny. His tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions, once hailed as proof of competence, now reads like a case study in bureaucratic inertia, meticulous on paperwork, short on real outcomes. Hopkins didn't bother with polite analysis, she went straight for the core. If Starmer's political brand is built on being safe and steady, she asked, where's the evidence? Thus far, all Britain has seen is a promise on repeat, the political equivalent of buying a gym membership in January and never turning up.
Do I think Starmer has seen Angela's Furburger? Oh no. I believe, personally, my personal opinion is that Keir Starmer's gay. He seems gay to me. My gaydar goes off, but in a bad way. Not a good gay. Like a gay, like a Macron gay, a Trudeau gay. Shady little bastard gay. So I would say Keir Starmer's gay. Yeah, that would be my personal opinion. And undoubtedly what will happen now is Channel 4 News, as happened this week, will be given advance warning in order to come with the West Midlands Police Force, because they're big supporters of mine.